So we went through that cataloging and so forth, and we thought that was a good process. And then the next thing was picking out your design professional and coming up with a budget and sitting down and getting all of these items in order before we even start laying out a design of some sort. We wanted to get the budget in line with what you're trying to accomplish, and this, we said, was always the critical part. This is the point where things get lost, or there's some sort of mistake in a budget or something. So it needs to be very clear, very, very succinct. What is the budget? What are we trying to accomplish for that?
These are all real situations you can't avoid.
Right.
You really can't, because the more you talk about it, the more reality starts taking place in these jobs.
Right. And again, the major issue we talked about, and since Earl knows and Mike knows, we've been doing this a combined 60-some-odd years between the three of us, is this unforeseen conditions. I can't stress it enough. We got to come back to that over and over again, so that if you work with American Design and Build, we will tell you up front that you need to have a certain percentage of your budget to accommodate for things that may not be seen in the walls, things that are going to
That's
occur.
Exactly why Earl says, whenever you address the B word, don't forget the F word.
That's right.
Let me elaborate. When you address the budget, don't forget the fudge factor.
That's right.
Okay, and I believe in the first show or second show, Lee, you referred to it as 10, 20%. Put along on the side extra for problems, because we're in this remodeling business, and we talked about opening the can of worms and going fishing.
That's right, Earl. That's right.
We talked about that. And sometimes you open a can of worms, and you're going to need more than the 10 or 20% that you have put alongside for problems, and you better have it.
That's
Otherwise,
correct.
your project's going to come to a stop, and
well, let's do
not
a for instance on that. Okay, so we're working on a project now.
We're ripping out of the kitchen for
No,
Mike.
this is a real project that we're working on in Sloatsburg. I'm not going to throw out anybody's name out there, but there is a situation now where the addition's completely done. We're starting to do the well work around the egress window, which is in the basement, to let the people out in case of fire. And the municipality has requested, it was an older house, they renovated, put a few floors on it. The existing septic system is no longer adequate. The location is no longer good. This person needs to now relocate an entire septic system into an area of rock. So you have a situation now that occurs that she cannot move back into her house because there is no sewer there. The septic is the means of sanitary disposal, and she needs to spend $15,000 to relocate into a rock area, trans-evapo bed, which is a special septic system to be done in rock. And she is not prepared at this point to do that.
She didn't anticipate it.
She didn't anticipate it. So now we're not at a standstill. We're moving at a slower pace, allowing her to gradually grab some funds from wherever she's going to take care of this problem. But it became a big issue. So again, if you're doing this type of a renovation on a house, which is we consider a major renovation, where you're adding a whole entire second floor and some bedrooms. The septic system, if you're not on a sewer, the septic system is something that is so important and that may be overlooked by your contractor if you don't have the right team in there to advise you up front when you're talking.
And be aware of these things.
Right, when you're talking at the beginning of the project. Now, we talked about it at the beginning of the project. The project took about a month and a half, 2 months to get through the municipality. At the time that we did get the approvals, the municipality was fine with the septic system. And now the municipality has changed its building department around, and they have changed the way that they review these projects, and she was in the middle, and she got caught. And so now we have an issue where, again, it's 15% of the budget right there just for that one item. So if you left 20% back, you were only left now with 5% to deal with the rest of the items that might arise during the construction. So it's something to be aware of, and we make the people aware of it. And most people are on sewer, so the septic issue doesn't come up. And in smaller municipalities or in bigger municipalities in New Jersey where there isn't a sewer district, there are sewers, there are septics and wells. And these are issues that restrict you from building in certain locations because of that. And if you've gone ahead and started a project and we're unaware of this, your well might have to be moved if the septic is moved, because you have to have a certain distance between the well and the septic. So by moving the septic now, she might have another condition where she has to re-drill a well, which can run anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. So now you're into $25,000. So there's a lot of little things that escalate into big things when you're working on these. So
picking out the right team will end up helping an awful lot of DNA.
The right team, and being honest with what's going to happen on this project. We need to look at this, or we need to be concerned with a septic change, if that, or an addition, not even a change, but you may have to enlarge the septic field to accommodate for the bedroom count, because this is how they determine your septic size is based on, not on bathrooms. You can have 15 bathrooms and 1 bedroom. They just consider it on the bedroom. So if you have 5 or 6 bedrooms and you started out as 3 bedrooms, that means you have to double the size of your septic. And in most places, if you're working with small properties, you have a real issue there. And so,
great point.
Just wanted to throw that one out there when we're talking about budget and unforeseen conditions.
That hit the point.
I'm going fishing.
That's a big can of worms there.
Earl, you're perfect.
Earl's out.
Earl's out. Earl's going fishing. He looks outside at the sunshine. He's ready to go. So after we were done with that, the budget and so forth, we went through the professional selection of the architect who would guide you through the process of designing and laying out your project with the
Overall
budget in
project,
mind.
right.
And then we started getting into the ground. And we did miss one step in the process, and that's site planning, which next week we're going to have Tom Vanderbeek, who's a land surveyor, professional engineer from the Rockland and Hudson area, come in and speak about what needs to be done on your site planning work and site planning prior to actually starting the foundation, which we spoke about last week. So we sort of jumped the gun with the foundation a little bit last week. So we're going to digress next week and get into site planning work, which includes the septic, the well, the drainage areas, retention areas.
Size for everything, too.
You mean somebody doesn't say, hey, let's put that over there and that over there?
Somebody does. That's you from American Design and Builds. You say put that over there, and the engineer has to come and stake out where there is. And once we know where there is by the engineer, we know that we are exactly where we have to be. And this is a part that we skipped, and we want to go through that and give you folks out there an opportunity to call in with your questions prior to starting your project about site planning. If you're going to move a walk, if you're going to be adding an addition behind your house, maybe your septic is behind your house. You have to now relocate your septic from where the construction area is to a spot behind that. This gentleman that's coming in is going to discuss all of those issues, as well as drainage from your rooftop gutters. Where does the water go when it comes down those little white things and drains out onto your driveway and creates an ice slick or an Earl slick or some sort of slick?
Well, slick it is. And the most, again, one of the things we're going to address here is water removal because, and again, that'll be part of the roofing show with the gutters and downspouts. The number one enemy of the home is water.
That's right, Earl.
And the most important thing is to get the water away from your home. Mm-hmm. And it has to do with your gutter system and how that's laid out. It has to do with your downspouts and your tubes to take it away. And your final grade, your grade should be 1 inch per foot for the first 10 feet from your home.
That's right. That's what Mr. Vanderbeek might be able to help us out with some of those as well next week.
Exactly. And so we would like to address all these things. It's very important. If you've got water coming in your foundation because maybe your downspouts are dumping all that water, hundreds of gallons of water during a rainstorm, right up against your foundation.
Sounds like trouble.
That's a big problem.
That's a big one. Mike, what do you have to add? So we went through this is the type of programming we're trying to accomplish. We're going to lay out the next 4 or 5 shows in a sequence of electric, plumbing, framing.
It's amazing. It's becoming like an encyclopedia.
Well, that's and a timeline.
Yeah.
An encyclopedia based on the timeline and the process of the construction.
It's good to be aware of all these things. I mean, we talk about it during our regular work week also. Each of us has our own basic specifications and specialty areas, but to hear it all brought together is amazing. I'm telling you, every week something gets learned.
That's it. And again, if you folks you're hearing just a tail end of the show, we have the Magic Hat here. We have a couple of Sony products we're giving away. 651-1110. We'd love to hear from you in the last few minutes of the show here. We want to know if you have any questions about your home improvements. And
it
also
doesn't have to be on today's program.
Right.
It could be whatever works right now for you.
And you can stream us at www.wtbq.com Thursday nights from 8 to 9. So if you want to recap what we were saying here, or you didn't quite understand some things, Thursday night is your opportunity to pick the show up on your computer and listen to it at your leisure. And we will be bringing to you, again,